Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we are doing our week 16, I'm pretty sure, I think I got the week correct this time, week 16 NFL record predictions, or game predictions, not record it's kind of the same, I don't know, but game predictions. We have no word of the day as of yet. I guess he's on his Christmas vacation, from the person that we get our word of the day from. And he's not responding, so we're going to go ahead and do the video. It is currently Friday, 3:24 p.m. as of recording, so before the games. Last week, we did not have a great week. Me and my dad both went 8-8. Really tough. Ever since we got the 14-2 week, it has not looked good since. But we're trying to have a good week this week. Currently still leading by 1 between me and my dad. So, yeah. Let's see how this goes. So, starting off, we have the Falcons versus the Ravens, and obviously you guys already know that I'm going to pick the Falcons because they're my favorite team, and I don't feel like cheering against them so I can get my prediction right. Okay, I'm going to be cheering for the Falcons and Desmond Ridder to see what he can do. But anyways, let's get into it. So, the Ravens last week ended up losing to the Browns. Defense played well, didn't give up too many points, but the offense just really never got started. What was the score to the Ravens-Browns game? So yeah, 3-13. I mean, if you shut up, Siri, okay? But if your defense goes out there, holds them to a touchdown and 2 field goals, and you're gonna lose by 10. I mean, that's just sorry. I mean, I'm sorry, Ravens, but that's terrible. Your offense, bro, they better be apologizing. Like, I'm talking 10 paragraphs. I mean, like, this is crazy. 3 points against the Browns defense, one of the worst defenses in the league, put up 3 points. Wasn't a pretty performance. And as for the Falcons, going up against a division rival, had a new rookie quarterback coming in. Obviously, now he has his feet wet. He's going to come back stronger. Had a decent game. Kind of started off a little slow. But, it was a close game. Kind of had some communication errors there late in the game. Desmond Ridder wanted to lateral the ball, and everybody else went to go block. And then he just kind of stepped out of bounds. Not sure what was going on over there. But, yeah, so we ended up losing that by 3. But, it's all right. So both teams, lost, but I think the Falcons had definitely a better performance and more promise coming into this game. Not sure if Lamar Jackson's back. I don't feel like checking ESPN right now, so yeah. Okay, just realized there's a little bit of error in the video. It's fixed now. You guys won't see it, but I kind of messed you guys up. It was kind of just on a loading screen while I was talking, but it's okay. We're good. And you guys will never know about it unless I told you, which I just did. But it's okay. So anyways, next up we got the Lions versus the Panthers. And both these teams have looked pretty good recently. However, the Panthers, Panthers went off on had a 2-game win streak after starting Sam Darnold. It was looking pretty good for them. And then, obviously, as I predicted, ended up losing in that 3rd game to the Steelers, which, aren't the greatest of teams, and, just didn't really put up too many points and gave up 24 to Kenny Pickett. Didn't look great. And as for the Lions, they are currently 6 of their last 7 games. They're 6-7. They've won 6 of their last 7 games. They have been looking really good. They are the hottest team in football. If the playoffs were right now, I'm taking the Lions. I mean, obviously it's not. And I'm not sure how honest I'm being with you, but the Lions are looking like a great team right now. So I gotta take the Lions here, going to Carolina. The defense has been looking a little bit better, and they're going up against Sam Darnold, so it shouldn't be too hard to outscore him with the way that offense is looking. So, yeah, I got to take the Lions here, and so does my dad. By the way, on the last game, my dad took the Ravens, which is a little unfair because I have to take the Falcons because I, refuse to root against them. But it's okay. It's okay. Anyways, next up, we got the Seahawks versus the Chiefs. And, yeah. So, Chiefs did not look great last week. didn't look good going up against the Texans. Obviously, the Texans are a competitive team, but when you're looking to be, a Super Bowl contender, you're not looking to, look like that against the Texans by any means. However, these Seahawks, I'm pretty sure, lost last week. Who did the Seahawks play last week? They played the Thursday game, and they lost to the 49ers. Did not look good in that game, I don't think. I didn't really watch it. It was late, and I had... Oh, no, did I have school? I'm not really sure, but obviously they didn't win against Brock Purdy. And, they've kind of lost some hope. They've lost motivation at this point. They're not going to win their division. It's going to be hard to squeeze into the playoffs with the way the NFC is looking right now. And going up against the Chiefs, I don't see them winning. However, by the way, I just learned that, I never did watch the full, the finish of the game against the Bengals when the Chiefs played the Bengals. I just realized Patrick Mahomes sold in that game, too. He fumbled at the end of the game. I didn't even know that. But, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is the worst end-of-the-game player I've ever seen in my life. I'm just kidding. But he does suck. I'm not going to lie. But I am taking the Chiefs here, and so is my dad, so, yeah. Next up, we got the Saints versus the Browns. Last week, the Browns did not look good. Obviously, the defense played really well, but you're going up against Tyler Huntley. I don't know how much of a flex that is. Relatively new quarterback backup, not the greatest. Still impressive. Still impressive. And, the offense only put up 13 points, which, obviously they're getting good field position based off how their defense is playing, and they could only kick 2 field goals and a touchdown. Not the greatest performance, and now they're going up against the Saints, who has crazy momentum right now, coming off of a divisional win against their rival, the Atlanta Falcons, and they're looking to make a playoff push. I think if they lose one more game, they are eliminated, or maybe that was just last week, but it's a tough race to the playoffs for the Saints right now, and they're really looking to make it, I guess. And so they just have all this motivation and momentum. I really don't see them losing to the Browns with the way they looked last week. And so, yeah, I'm taking the Saints. However, my dad is going to take the Browns at Cleveland. So, yeah. Next up, we have the Texans versus the Texans. It looks like I messed up when putting this in. Who are the Texans playing? The Titans. Okay, so... let me change this. Okay, so the Texans have been playing great football in the last couple of weeks. Been playing really well. Obviously, they've been competitive all year, but they have looked really, really strong in these last couple of weeks. Going up, putting a fight up with the Cowboys and then with the Chiefs. Great start to the halves. However, they're going up against the Titans, and you've got to be a really physical team to beat the Titans with Derrick Henry. Obviously, 7 teams have been physical enough to beat Derrick Henry because they have 7 losses. But this is a relatively young team. They're not the biggest of the bunch. And, not the greatest defense in the NFL. They give effort, obviously, still competitive. But, if Ryan Tannehill even has a little bit of a passing game, Derrick Henry is just going to thrive, and that offense is going to look really well. I really don't see the Titans losing this game, but it can definitely be close. And if the Texans did win, it could happen with the way they've been looking, but I just don't see them matching up against Derrick Henry very well, and so I've got to take the Titans here, and so does my dad. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Bengals versus the Patriots. And look, man, the Patriots last week absolutely sold the bag. Had an opportunity to go into overtime, but let's just throw it to Mac Jones. Let's see what he can do. It did not work out too well. Threw it right to Chandler Jones. Mac Jones got stiff-armed and touchdown. So yeah, that didn't work out too well. Jacoby Myers, I think he had, he took all the responsibility for that, and I kind of respect him for that. He took all the blame. Obviously, he should have taken all the blame, but you don't always have to, and he did. and so that's kind of cool. But they still sold, and Matt Patricia is still the worst offensive coordinator in the NFL. So, with that being said, they're going up against the Bengals, who are one of the Super Bowl favorites. I will do my playoff video soon, by the way, whenever the playoffs happen. Anyways, but yeah, the Bengals, I just don't see them losing to the Patriots. They have a pretty good defense. I mean, like a really good defense. I mean, they are Super Bowl contenders right now, and with the way the Patriots offense is looking, it's not looking great. So I gotta take the Bengals here, and so does my dad. So yeah. Next up, we got the Giants versus the Vikings, and this is another pretty interesting game. The Vikings went up against the Commanders last week, came out with the dub, had a questionable false start call for the Commanders. You know, Terry McLaurin said it was offsides, and he checked with the referee twice, and then he threw the flag on him. So it was a little questionable, a little suspicious, but a win is a win. So, still got the dub last week, and the Vikings had the biggest comeback in football last week. Was that last week? That was probably last week. Yeah, that was last week. The biggest comeback in football. I did not realize that when I made the video on Sunday because I was at a basketball tournament. I never got to watch the game. I just saw the last touchdown for them to win it. But 33 points. Of course, Matt Ryan was on the team. But, I mean, oh my gosh. So yeah, biggest comeback in football. I'm telling you what, if it is a one-score, or if it is a close game, the Vikings are the best team in football. They can lose games. I'm not saying they are the best team in football, but if you let it get close, the Vikings aren't losing. They are the best late game team in football. And I mean, that's going to be scary for the playoffs. But now they're going up against the Giants. The Giants do have a lot to play for, still looking to make a playoff push in the tough NFC. And so do the Vikings. Jalen Hurts just got injured, so the Eagles could go on a little losing stretch here. And the Vikings are looking to take that first round bye. I'm sure Kirk Cousins sees it. Not saying anything, but he's old. Got to take some time off. And they could use that bye week, prepare for their opponent. Get some rest. So both teams have big, beneficials. Have big benefits for will gain big benefits for winning this game. But I just think the Vikings are a much better team, and I don't see them losing to the Giants. So I gotta take the Vikings here at home, and so will my dad. So yeah. Next up, we got the Bills versus the Bears. And the Bears had a great game last week against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Obviously, Jalen Hurts was injured, but he didn't really seem to be injured as he just continued throwing the ball, even threw like a 60-yard pass to A.J. Brown, I think it was. And, after he got hurt, and I mean, I guess it looked pretty good. And, because obviously they caught it. And so, yeah, the Bears, they were competitive against the best team in football. And that's all you need to see from a young team. You're just looking for something to build off of. And, maybe you don't even want to win that game because, realistically, you're playing for a pick right now. You're eliminated from the playoffs, I'm pretty sure. So you're just playing for a pick. But that is good to see that they were at least competitive in that game. And now they're going up against the Bills, who, if I'm being honest, I haven't really liked in the past couple of weeks. I think they did win last week. I'm not sure who they played. What was the score to the Bills game? Okay, so the Bills had a close game to the Dolphins. I'm saying the only reason they won is because they had home field advantage. I mean, realistically, if it's on an even playing field, or if it's at Miami, I'm pretty sure the Dolphins win that game. So, I mean, I really think if it's on an even playing field, the Dolphins are winning that one. Despite the Bills having a better record, I mean, I really just don't know. But I haven't liked what I've seen from the Bills. I mean, that's a big win. Don't get me wrong. But they are winning that on neutral turf. But I still see the Bills beating the Bears. I mean, the Bears don't really have a lot to play for right now. Honestly, they have more to play for a loss than a win right now. So I've got to take the Bills here. And so does my dad. So next up, we got the Commanders versus the 49ers. And this is a really interesting game. So, Brock Purdy is the probably, I'm going to say this, he is the best rookie quarterback in that class. I mean, nobody in the class is playing better than him right now. Nobody will play better than him right now. I mean, Brock Purdy is showing promise. He has poise in the pocket. He's standing up. You know, he's not scared to take a hit. I mean, he's throwing the ball down the field. I mean, he is relentless, and he is looking good. Obviously, he's won the last couple of games. He can run the ball. I mean, Brock Purdy has looked absolutely great. You know, that may be his downfall come playoff time because, you know, maybe he tries to make a risky pass, it gets picked off, and they end up losing the game, when really all you have to do is just rely on your defense and, you know, just hand the ball off. But, you know, as of right now, he is the best quarterback. But, you know, he's not the best quarterback in football, just the best rookie. And so you're going up against the Commanders here with Taylor Heinicke, who, you know, are really fighting to get into the playoffs in this NFC. And, you know, it's tough. Taylor Heinicke is going to push his team to win. He's going to motivate his team. Obviously, he gives them a spark. And he's a pretty good player now that he started to limit his interceptions. And so, you know, I don't really know what to tell you. I think it's going to be a close game. And I think it'll really come down to how Brock Purdy plays. And, you know, if he plays well, obviously the 49ers, I think, are going to win. I think maybe, you know, the Commanders get behind early. And, you know, Taylor Heinicke throws a couple picks. And they end up pushing their, you know, shooting themselves in the foot a little. And, you know, the 49ers end up winning. So I'm taking the 49ers. I think they have more of a chance to win here. Unless Brock Purdy just kind of messes up. Which definitely could happen. Obviously not hoping for that, because I really do like him. But, yeah, I'm taking the 49ers at home in this one, and so is my dad. Okay, I'm back. Been about 5 seconds. Got a drink of water. I think I've been really talkative in this video. Like, we're 17 minutes in, and I still got, like, 10 games to go. So I've been saying a lot of stuff, and, like, some of it don't even make sense. But anyways, next up, we got the Eagles versus the Cowboys. And so I'm not really sure who's starting in this game. I don't even think ESPN knows who's starting in this game. I think that's, you know, kind of the Eagles' mindset here is to make sure they don't know. Obviously, big game for the Eagles. I think, you know, obviously, if they win this game, it'll definitely help them get the #1 seed. It might secure a #1 seed for them. I'm not sure. But, you know, this is a big game for them. It's a divisional opponent. You know, you want to have momentum going into the playoffs, but you also want to have your starting quarterback going into the playoffs. So, you know, they're a little hesitant to put Jalen Hurts in, even though this is a big game, and Jalen Hurts is looking like he's going to win MVP. You know, if he has a good game here, you know, he keeps playing throughout the season, but a Super Bowl and a playoff run is more important to the team, and probably even to Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's a real good team player, and he works really hard, and I think he's more about the team than he is the MVP, even though, obviously, it would mean a lot to him, but you got to have your quarterback come playoff time, and I think they'll definitely start him next week, but this week may just be a little too soon. You don't want to risk re-injuring that shoulder. Even though he did look fine against the Bears, you don't want to risk too much. Obviously, so if Gardner Minshew is playing, that will obviously add a special effect against the Cowboys. And now, let's say the Cowboys do go against Gardner Minshew. You know, they've been prepping all freaking season, ever since they lost to the Eagles with Cooper Rush, that they're getting ready to beat the Eagles, and Micah Parsons has been tweeting stuff about Jalen Hurts. They want to beat Jalen Hurts, and, you know, if Jalen Hurts isn't playing, I think sometimes they do end up downplaying their opponents, because, like, you know, sometimes, like they played the Jaguars, who aren't the greatest team. I think they're a really competitive team, but they're not the greatest team. And, you know, they gave up like 40 points because they're like, oh, it's the Jaguars. You know, we can beat them. Obviously, they could not. So it's really interesting. So if they're going up, like, man, it's Gardner Minshew. It's too easy. If they had that mindset and Gardner Minshew does play, maybe Gardner Minshew makes some throws, which he can definitely do, and we've definitely seen that when he was at the Jaguars. So I still think the Eagles have as much as a chance as they did before Jalen Hurts got injured, and I gotta take the Eagles here, and so will my dad. So yeah, I mean it'll be a cool game to watch for sure, but Dak Prescott going up against one of the best defenses in the NFL is not going to be good. I think Dak Prescott probably throws like 2 or 3 picks, and you just can't win like that. So yeah. Next up, we got the Packers versus the Dolphins, and the Packers, they pulled up. Oh gosh, okay, they pulled out the win against the Rams last week. Baker Mayfield didn't have the greatest game. Had a kind of good first half, but didn't really do too much. Threw for like 111 yards, which is not good. So really wasn't too much of a challenge for the Packers offense. But I mean, I don't think the Packers can beat good teams. Hold up, I just realized I skipped over a game, but it's okay. We'll come back to it. They're going up against the Dolphins, who I think are one of the best teams in the AFC. Despite having an 8-6 record, I still think they're a really good team. And just Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't have the chemistry with his wide receivers. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think he hasn't been playing well. The team isn't really following with him. I gotta take the Dolphins here. I mean, the Dolphins love Tua. They love their coach. They love everything that's going on. There's no drama over there. They're all happy, and they want to make the playoffs, which they probably will. But still, they're fighting. And the Packers are just, I don't know, man. They're just kind of depressing when you think about them. So I gotta take the Dolphins here, and so will my dad. So yeah. Next up, we got the Raiders versus the Steelers. And the Steelers had a pretty good game last week, beating the Panthers 24-16. Pretty good game. I can't really complain about that. Your defense holds a team to 16 points. Your offense puts up 24 points. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, you can't complain about that. It was a pretty good game. I mean, it is up against the Panthers, but they had won the last 2 in a row. So, I mean, they did play really well last week. However, the Raiders have won like 4 out of 5 of their last games. The Raiders have been really hot, and they have looked really, really good. Got kind of a fluky win against the Patriots last week, but, a win is a win. They obviously could have won in overtime. You never know. But, they're just a better team than the Steelers. They're definitely a more experienced team, an older team. You got Derek Carr and Devontae Adams versus George Pickens and Kenny Pickett. They have more experience. They're looking to make a late playoff push. I don't even know if they can anymore, but they're looking to do that. And so this game means a lot to them. And so they're gonna go to Pittsburgh. And I think they take this game from the Steelers. However, my dad is taking the Steelers in this one, so personal choice, I guess. So, next up, we got the Broncos versus the Rams. And, the Broncos won last week. The Rams lost last week. But I think there's a clear difference in who the better team is here. And you got to take the Rams in this game. I mean, the Rams are just a better team with Baker Mayfield. They're more motivated. They're excited to see what they can do with Baker Mayfield. They got a quarterback now. And, the Broncos, they just, they don't really know what they're doing. I mean, are they playing for a pick? Are they trying to see if Russell Wilson can even still cook anymore? The Rams have a lot more hope in them than the Broncos because they're trying to test out their quarterback. They're trying to see, what capabilities he has. They're trying to see who to start next season. And, Baker's going to keep them motivated despite, the fact that they're not going to make the playoffs. But they don't have a pick. So this is super important for them to win to make sure that pick is not valuable, which obviously it will be no matter what they do at this point. But you know, it'll be interesting for sure. But you know, the Rams, you know, I don't even know if the Broncos have a pick actually. I don't know if the Broncos have a pick. You know, this will be an interesting game, but I'm still gonna take the Rams at home, and so will my dad. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think the Broncos have a pick. Yeah. Well, frick, my bad. So, anyways, next up we got the Buccaneers versus the Cardinals, and the Buccaneers have obviously had a rough couple of weeks. Tom Brady had four consecutive turnovers last week to lose the game against the Bengals, which, you know, was not a good showing. But he had a great first half. He showed some promise. You know, Tom Brady looked really well in the first half, and then just kind of died. I don't know what he did in the second half. That was terrible. But, you know, they're going up against the Cardinals. And the Cardinals don't have a quarterback. I think they're starting Colt McCoy, which, I mean, what are they going to do with Colt McCoy against the Buccaneers defense, which, you know, isn't the greatest. They're a little banged up, but still, you're going up against the Buccaneers. Colt McCoy isn't going to really harm you too much through the air, and so I just got to take the Buccaneers here. Even though they're not the greatest team, they're still a playoff team because their division is garbage. You know, I'm hating on my own team here, the Falcons, but, you know, it's okay. Well, I know we suck. It's alright. But, you know, they're still a playoff team, and the Cardinals are just kind of dog. At this point, they're just playing for a pick. They don't know what's going on with their quarterback. They might need to draft a quarterback. You know, they really don't know what's going on. And, you know, they're not looking to make the playoffs with Colt McCoy. They're just looking to lose and get a better draft pick here. So, I got the Buccaneers taking this game, and so does my dad. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Chargers versus the Colts. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, the Colts are absolutely garbage. I'm not sure who they lost to last week. What was the score of the Colts game? They were the ones that lost to the Vikings. Gave up a 33-point, you know, lead. Nobody but Jeff Saturday and Matt Ryan is going to do that, and that's what they ended up doing. And I really don't know how you lose that game. I really don't. I mean, I'm a Falcons fan, but my gosh, I mean, how? How? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Colts are just an absolutely terrible team. The Chargers are coming off of a win against the Titans last week. And, you know, the Chargers have just looked really good. They're 8-6. You know, I've kind of been hating on them, but they have won the last couple games in a row. And so I got to take the Chargers in this one, and so will my dad. But, yeah, I'm sorry for hating on y'all Chargers fans. I still don't like y'all, but it's okay. Anyways, next up, we got the Thursday night game, Cowboys versus the Titans. And this is going to be an interesting game. I think it really all depends on what happens in this Eagles game. If the Cowboys beat the Eagles, they're going to be hyped. They're going to be like, okay, let's, you know, win some games, you know, have the hype train going into the playoffs. But if they lose, I really think they already clinched a playoff spot. But if they lose, I really do think they're just going to kind of fall into the playoffs, which is not what you want to do. I mean, you know, losing, I mean, imagine, you know, you lose the game, and then you lose to the Titans. That's a 2-loss streak going into week 18, and, you know, that's just not a good way to enter the playoffs. You've got to be hot coming into the playoffs if you want to make a push, and you know, if they lose to the Eagles, they're gonna be hype. They're gonna be coming in. They're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, we're for to smoke the Titans. We're for to smoke whoever we play next, and we're for to dog on everybody in the playoffs." But you're like, "Oh shoot, we lost to Gardner Minshew and the Eagles. Are we really all that good?" And then they go up against the Titans. They get, you know, beat up by Derrick Henry. You know, it's not gonna feel good. So it's just their attitude coming into the Titans game. It's just, I think it's really going to matter about that. So if they win against the Eagles, they win against the Titans. They lose to the Eagles, they lose to the Titans. That's what I'm saying. So I got the Titans winning this one, obviously. You know, I'm not going to say the Titans are a better team. I'm not. But I think at this point in the year, it's just off momentum. I mean, just purely momentum for the Cowboys here. They're a momentum team. I mean, if Dak Prescott, you know, he either throws 6 picks or he throws 6 touchdowns. I mean, he's just that kind of quarterback. And so, you know, it'll just depend on how he's feeling that day. And so, you know, this is a really toss-up game, but I'm going to take the Titans. And however, my dad is going to take the Cowboys. So that's interesting. So I've somehow stretched this into a 30-minute video, and it's still not the end of the fourth quarter. So, yeah. We don't have a word of the day, so I'm going to go ahead and say straw. Wait, no, we already did straw, actually. I forgot about that. We're going to say marker. I'm just looking at stuff around me. I got a straw, some water bottles, a ticket, paper, a granola bar, and a marker. So we're going to say marker is the word of the day, because my friend never texted me back. But it's okay. It's okay. So anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time.